With hygiene and cleanliness a top priority these days, it's good to know that there's an as-seen-on-TV product for just about any situation. But when it comes to keeping viruses and germs out of your happy home, can these as-seen-on-TV sanitation gadgets really get the job done? Let's find out. Who really knows what evil lurks in the puddle of man? We don't, but you certainly don't want it all over Grandma's decorative rug. Besides, wiping your pet's feet is tedious, time-consuming, and gets your hands filthy. Luckily, the Clean Pooch Mat is a non-slip rug to instantly absorb water, dirt, or mud from your pet's feet. And also your feet, Stinky. Inside the box is a rug, but you already knew that. The rug is soft to the touch, and it's a little smaller than expected. 18 by 28 inches to be exact. Next to a few traditional bath mats, the Clean Pooch is dwarfed by comparison. And if you take a closer look, they have nearly identical textures and backing. After making a little mud in the morning, we headed outside to hose down the dirt and make some that we can actually show you. Of course, we invited out a furry friend for a stroll. As you can see, following a quick walk in the mud, Doggo is leaving some major tracks, and we can't have that. So let's see what this mat is really about. Some mud was transferred into a baking sheet before dipping our eager friend's paws right into the dirt. Normally, they'd leave behind a trail of prints just like these, but when placed onto the mat just once, they're markedly cleaner, but not perfect. Using a shoe in our tasty pan, these tracks are a sight to behold. But after reapplying some mud and stepping onto the mat, it's apparent that it really did absorb about 90% of the muck, and the brown coloring really helps to conceal it. Not too shabby. To test water absorbency, priceless sheets of paper towels were placed under our bath mats and the Clean Pooch as well. 1 cup of water was poured over each mat and left for about a minute. After lifting them up to reveal the results, well, they speak for themselves. The Clean Pooch is bone dry, whereas the bath mats leaked through substantially, which is surprising considering that's their only job. So it works in a doorway setting, but underneath pet bowls is also a great spot to target, preventing water droplets and drool from dripping on your deck or your kitchen floor. If you get lucky, its sheer aesthetics may bring another friend to party, if only for a minute. The only bad things we could find about this mat were in the reviews. Apparently this thing's a pet pee magnet, and due to its absorbency and backing, no amount of washes will get rid of that smell. Someone must have had that issue with this particular mat before, because as we were examining the non-slip backing, we discovered this one came pee-stained right out of the box. However, it was smell-free. So they just rolled it up and took it back to the store before we got it. So check your product beforehand, and if your pet's well-trained, this thing is a winner. With latex gloves in short supply, introducing the Grvik Claws, allowing you to snatch faraway objects without the risk of contamination to yourself or others. This particular model has a swiveling head and all sorts of bells and whistles that you'd never attribute to a giant claw. Opening up the box, you should have some instructions in the Grvik unit itself. Unfold the arm and remove the protective covering. Another set of instructions are conveniently attached to the handle. These directions are pretty straightforward, but if you want some real ratchet head action, it's gonna involve a couple more steps that we'll cover in a second. The full-size direction page also shows how to use the flashlight, as well as revealing where the jewelry hook and some magical magnets are located. This button on the center of the arm locks it into place, or allows it to be unfolded. The switch near your thumb transitions the Grvik from normal into ratchet mode. This of course allows a slower, more deliberate grab that locks into place until you say when. Over to the side of the handle, another switch activates a small LED to illuminate your late night claw sessions and sneaky grabs. Turning off the lights and activating that LED, you can see that this thing is pumping out a staggering half lumen that ignites a 4-inch circle in the direction of your travels. But that's not exactly why you got this thing, is it? You got it for everyday applications, like these. Cracking an egg becomes a paltry task using the sheer might of the Grvik. The ratcheting grip is great for delicately lifting your eggs, and in just a couple taps, they're nearly ready for a scrambling. Peeling a hard-boiled egg, you say? Mounting a 2-claw attack, snag your hard-boiled egg and bang it on the plate. Then use the other claw to easily peel away the remaining shell. When finally shell-free, just add a little salt, sprinkle on some pepper, and enjoy the proteins of your labor, all without putting your filthy hands on your food or face. Gotta grab a cold one? No problem for the claw in your capable hands. Forget that ladder, just get your grab it and reach out with the all-star wingspan of Dalsum, Yoga Flame. What about playing catch with your friends? No sir, even the grab it knows that's the opposite of social distancing. Help us out, man. Look, this thing is handy in tons of scenarios, including intentionally storing your toilet paper or paper towels out of reach from the guests you shouldn't have over in the first place. Honestly, unless they brought their own claw, they're gonna be dripping dry like peasants. If you know someone who struggles to reach high places, has a poor grip, or just likes to get outside and pick up trash, the Grvik could be great. But for most of us, it'll just end up being another gimmick that became a dog toy. Let's face it, trips to the laundromat are equally as dangerous as hanging out in groups larger than 20, and that's why the Wonder Washer is making a return appearance. This portable washing machine is great for apartments, vehicles, and even pandemic bunkers, because all you need is soap, water, electricity, and a lot of patience. Inside the box is the basin itself, wrapped in a bag that is clearly not a toy. There's also some instructions that we'll take a look at in a second. Hidden beneath the lid, you'll find a couple pieces of styrofoam to keep as a permanent memento of your purchase. Oh, there's also this motorized base. A look inside the interior of the tub shows the small fins, also known as agitators, that'll circulate your clothing. Place the tub onto the base for now and put the lid on top. To see how well this thing can really manage a stain, some delectable Portland ketchup was generously poured onto these shorts that we found. Then we blotted it in and let it set to ensure a really good bond and hold. The shorts were added to the washer before heading over to the sink and filling it with water to the lightly marked line in the back of the tub. Carefully grab this thing by the handles and tote it back to the table. Place the unit onto the base and make sure it's on just right. Adding just a dab of detergent because we're only washing one garment here. Place the lid on top and twist it until the notches slide into the slot on the basin. Now set your timer to 15 minutes and turn the program knob to standard. That's it. If it's plugged in, the washer will spin right up, and this is where it gets interesting. If you overfilled your basin like we did, everything is in the splash zone. The circulating water leaks out all around the locked-in lid, but that's a feature, not a bug. It just lets you know to pour some water out of the holes in the lid. Once that's done, turn it back on, but keep an eye out because this thing's gonna shake and it's pretty top-heavy. As far as stain removal goes, pretty solid results occurred in just the 15-minute period that we had the shorts inside the tub. You really can't complain about that. After loading up an entire outfit consisting of some socks, Curly Jeffersons, some underwear, and some jeans, we filled the tub back up, dropped in some detergent, and fired the machine back up. To our nearly immediate chagrin, the motor's transmission was stuck in neutral, and the washer wasn't spinning at all. If you listen closely, you can hear the grinding of the motor and the sweet melodies backing up my smooth vocals. Figuring the weight of the wet jeans to be the cause of this calamity, they were removed before the unit was turned back on. Once it started back up, predictably, the water began to spill out again. Even using the detergent to weigh down the lid didn't work. So the machine was paused, the excess water was again emptied, and the clothes were left to finish. All in all, the Wonder Washer can save you in a pinch. More importantly, it'll keep you indoors at times like these. If you're holding out in place without a washer, this definitely beats going to your laundromat or doing it by hand. The bottle tops are a collection of washable snap-on caps that help keep your soda can fizzy, but most importantly, they'll cover up the rim of your can, potentially saving your lips from the grubby mitts that previously touched it. They even come in a variety of colors, which will help you prevent accidental drink swapping with an undesirable, which is everyone at this moment. Carefully tear apart the packaging to display your caps and then gaze upon them fondly. The bottle top is plug and play, as they say in the beverage industry, and these are ready to go right out of the box. Taking a closer peek, the lid itself is of a snap-closed variety and takes a little muscle to open it, but that's a good thing. A tight fit should ensure no spills, as well as keep nasty aerosols from landing inside your beverage. Using the bottle tops is as easy as one would expect. They're sized to fit most regular cans and snap on with a hefty shove. Unfortunately, this is not a one-size-fits-all product, so smaller cylinders are out of luck as usual. After popping the tops, the lids were snapped back into place pretty easily, or so we thought. This Red Bull can folded under the pressure once it was open, and it was impossible to lock into place, so it's probably a better idea to keep thinner cans completely out of the equation. But good thing we made this extra teepee. Down to 2 usable vessels, the drinks were turned upside down to test those seals and pour our precious tonics right onto the table. Although the bottle top doesn't leak from the can, the snap-on lid surprisingly didn't have the gusto to prevent a 12-ounce deluge. In case of accidental bumping, however, the bottle top does a pretty good job of minimizing spills and keeping them to just a few droplets as opposed to losing half your contents. To test the carbonation-saving aspect of the lid, 2 cans were open, with one getting the bottle top VIP treatment. Immediately after topping, both items were placed into can quarantine for 24 hours. When time was up, both cans were removed and then poured into a pint glass for your viewing pleasure. That's unexpected. It appears that the can with no lid had more bubbly action going on than the one with the bottle cap, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but hey, your mileage may vary. Giving it the old college try, both of these are drinkable, but the capped can was noticeably flatter. All in all, the bottle caps worked in specific situations, and not very well. That being said, if you want to keep airborne particles out while keeping tabs on which drink is yours, then having one of these on hand will do exactly that for you, just not much else. Now, most people already know about these two, but when it comes to kicking COVID crud right off your countertops, Scrub Mommy and Daddy are there to hold your hand and also lend one. These classic scrubbers excel at cleaning anything worth discussing, helping to eliminate lingering bacteria, and they're super cheap to boot. Pulling the daddy out of the box, he's got that familiar grin you know and love. It's pliable yet resilient and fits well in your hand. The Scrub Mommy is an identical shape, but it also boasts an air of femininity as well as a sponge and a scrubber. One of the coolest things about these two is that they change jobs with water temperature. They're soft in warm water, but firm right up in cold water to give you a rougher scrub. Even the most gnarly tasks don't faze Scrub Daddy, and it's fully equipped to take on even your most caked-on grime when backed by a little bit of elbow grease. Everything from your toilet to your bathtub, the Scrub Daddy handles most tasks pretty easily. The Scrub Mommy is even better. This sink had a hard water stain for years before this video gave us motivation to not be gross. Just a brief 10 minutes later, combined with some water and a solid workout, and this thing's good as new. Fantastic. Look, this video's getting long already, so we'll save a little for next time. There should be a playlist floating on your screen. You can click on that to see our entire crazy library of as seen on TV reviews. Make sure to turn on notifications, it's that bell thing. That way you know when the next volume drops. Seacrest out.